not hope they will make strong and lasting impressions. I could wish that we will control usual current of the passions or prevent our nation from running the course which has hitherto marked the destiny of nations. But if I may even flatter myself that may be productive of some partial benefit, some occasional good that may now then recur to moderate the fury of party spirit, to warn against the mischiefs of foreign intrigue, to guard against the impostors of pretended patriotism. This hope will be full recompense for the solicitude of your welfare by which they have been dictated. How far in the discharge of my official duties I have been guided by the principles which have been delineated, the public records and other evidences of my conduct must witness to you and the world. To myself, the assurance of my conscience is that I have at least believed myself to be guided by them. In relation to the subsiding war in Europe, my proclamation of the 22nd of April 1793 is the index of my plan, sanctioned by your approving voice and that of your representatives in both houses of Congress. The spirit of that measure has continuously governed me, uninfluenced by any attempt to deter or divert me from it. After deliberate examination, with the aid of the best lights I could obtain, I was well satisfied that our country, under all circumstances of the case, has the right to take, and what was bound in duty and interest to take, a neutral position. Having taken it, I determined, as far as should depend upon me, to maintain it with moderation, perseverance, and firmness. The considerations which the respect the right to hold this conduct, it is not necessary on the occasion to detail. I will only observe that, according to my understanding of the matter, that right, so far from being denied by any of the belligerent powers, has been virtually admitted by all. The duty of holding a neutral conduct may be inferred, without anything more, from the obligation which justice and humanity impose of every nation, in cases in which it is free to act to maintain and violate the relations of peace and amity towards other nations. The inducement of interest for observing that conduct will best refer to your own reflections and experience. With me, a predominant motive has been to endeavor to gain time to our country to settle and mature its yet recent institutions, and to progress without interruption to that degree of strength and consistency which is necessary to give it, humanly speaking, the command of its own fortunes. Though in reviewing the incidents of my administration I am unconscious of intentional error, I nevertheless too sensible of my defects not to think it probable that I may have committed many errors, wherever they may be. I fervently beseech the Almighty to avert or mitigate the evils to which they may tend. I shall always carry with me the hope of my country, will never cease to view them with indulgence, and that after 45 years of my life dedicated to her service with an upright zeal, the faults of incompetent abilities will be consigned to oblivion, as myself must soon be the mansions of rest. Relying of his kindness in this as in other things, I actuate by that fervent love towards it, which is so natural to a man whose views in his native soil of himself and his progenitors for several generations. I anticipate with pleasing expectation that retreat in which I promise to myself to realize, without alloy, the sweet enjoyment of partaking in the midst of my fellow citizens, to banging influence of good laws under a free government, the ever favorite object of my heart, and the happy reward, as I trust, are mutual cares, labors, and dangers. I was written again by George Washington on his farewell address, of course, the United States, September 19th, 1796, and a transcription courtesy of the Avalon Project at Yale Law School. Wow. Based on his address, President Washington had expressed broad foresight. Remain vigilant. Pay attention. Don't be distracted. Foreign entities are dangerous to society. APAC, Trilateral Commission, Council of Foreign Relations, CARE, United Nations are very good examples of what I addressed aforementioned. Political parties, same thing. Always pay attention, be thorough, examine everything. Don't just rely on the lobby groups. They could sell you the Brooklyn Bridge and say it's good, and maybe in corrosion. Alright, that's a very good example. But that's how I have to look at that. We need to be a Republican government. Not Republican Party or GOP, but a Republican government. That's what we need to preserve. Too much centralization or federal intervention, foreign intervention, unacceptable. Null and void. However, one thing I've noticed in the past 3-4 years, actually I can go back to 1995-96. 10th Amendment is still healthy. It's got to exercise it. And I can thank Sheriff Mack for that, and Sheriff Prince when he challenged the United States government on the Brady Act. Stuff they don't want to tell you, you gotta need to look it up yourself. Look up the Brady Law. There's information in there saying that the state has to enforce it with their own money. That was considered unconstitutional. And even James Madison, Federalist Papers 46, wrote that as well. And that's really it, my friends. And just like to say, I can thank you for your time. I will put the link up, the webpage, which is from ourdocuments.gov. I will put that site up. You can look at the George Washington farewell address. And remember, demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate societies. Until then, this is Craig signing off. Take care, and may your guardian spirits be with you.